Hey, what's up everybody? It's Andrew with Who Run Guns, and today I have this, which is a Talon Grips, in case you can see the T. And what this is a grip, in case you guys are not familiar, that you could attach easily onto one of your firearms. It's very inexpensive, less than 20 bucks. They were nice enough to send this to me. So I'm gonna show you guys how to install it. And I'm not just gonna do any old installation. I'm gonna be specifically doing a custom grip, which is why I have here this sanding sponge. And my plan is, with my Glock 19, I'm gonna place it on, and then I'm gonna sand down this side. So this side is gonna be smooth. Every other side is gonna be rough. So 1, 2, 3 sides are gonna be rough. And that way I can get a nice purchase on my firearm while at the same time not worrying about this rough granulate texture rubbing against my stomach. They do have a rubberized texture you could get if that's your concern, but I figure, why not just get the rougher texture, have a really nice grip on the rest of my gun, and just have a smooth side, on my firearm. So that's pretty much it. First of all, always got to make sure that you're starting off with an unloaded firearm. So here's the safety check. So that's always going to be step number one. I will go step by step. What you will need is your sponge. If you do want to do the carry style, you're going to need a blow dryer or a heat gun like I have here. You're going to need a lightning OTF knife just for fun. All right, just kidding. Maybe you don't need it, but I will drop a card in case you guys want to check it out. I did a review on it. Best 30 bucks you'll ever spend right there. So that's pretty much it. Let's get started step by step. What you get in the bag, in case you guys are curious, it'll be an envelope. You will have some rubbing alcohol, which you will need in order to clean your firearm and make sure there's no debris or dust on it when you add the adhesive on. You get a little bit of swag right here, so pretty cool. And also I'm gonna drop links below so you guys can check it out in case you want. Talon Grips pretty much makes these grips for almost any pistols that are out there. And they're starting to make other like pistol caliber carbines and all kinds of stuff out there. So I will leave links down below so you guys can check them out. Show them some love since they were cool enough to send this to me. Like, share, subscribe, and let's get started. So now that we've safety checked the firearm, what we're going to do is we're going to use rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol for you guys that are not familiar. And this is the only thing you're going to use to clean your gun. They don't recommend anything else. And what you're going to do is you're going to basically just clean your unloaded, say, firearm on all sides and make sure that there's no debris or anything else. So, and obviously you're going to let it adequately dry before you add anything onto it. And the idea is you just want your gun to be nice and clean and no debris to ruin the adhesive. So that should be good. Let it dry. So the gun is safe. The gun has been cleaned. So now step 3, what we're going to do is we're going to start attaching this on. And of course, before you do, you want to kind of just get a little practice run. Just kind of take a look at where everything's going to go. So you can see there our logo easily is going to be there. This straight line obviously is going to be adjacent here. This back piece is going to go here on the back. You want to make sure that everything is centered. You do not want to stretch anything because what's going to happen then is that when you run your heat gun on it afterwards, you're going to get air bubbles that are going to be trapped in there. So you do not want any air bubbles at all. So let's start off step by step. What I like to do is just one piece at a time. So I'm only going to peel off one side and then work from there. So peel this piece off. I'm literally just going to tear it here and then work on this piece first. And what's nice is if you mess up a little bit, you could literally just take it off as long as you haven't heated it yet. So that's kind of a cool step too. So if you mess up, it's not really the end of the world or anything, so you still have a chance to, redeem yourself. So make sure that logo is centered. That looks pretty good. Make sure the top is lined up. You do have this little cutout here. That's kind of where your thumb groove is. You're going to want to press in there. So I'm going to start with one end and kind of press my way out. So next I'm just peeling off the back piece and I'll tear it off right there. This is critical. You want to make sure that everything is aligned properly. Looks pretty even to me. Again, you're not going to be stretching anything. Hopefully everything just looks pretty fat and you're just going to lay it down flat. And then our last step, which is going to be this piece over here. So then we peel off this last piece and carefully wrap this around, making sure everything is lined up, using any markings or landmarks on the firearm that you have available to you. So I want to make sure that this bottom part is lined up properly. Especially here, this is a good landmark as well. And I know this is sticking up a little bit, but I'm gonna worry about that a little later. As long as these landmarks are lined up properly, I'm not too worried about it. And if you notice, I'm gonna have a little extra slack here, so what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna lift this up a little bit and just tuck it under, which is not a problem since I haven't heated it up yet. And before I seal it, I'm gonna make sure that there's no extra space here. Everything's kind of pressed down. Okay, so that was pretty much the hardest part, and that's how it'll look once it's on. And then all you have to do now is heat it up. Now you want to heat it up to a warm cup of coffee, which is what they recommend. So let's get started. Kind of have to eyeball that a little bit, but it shouldn't be too hard. So I like to do this process usually on the low setting, which would be here. And they do want it to 130 degrees Fahrenheit, no more than that. So that's why I like to do it low. And you could always do it a little longer if you ever need to, but pretty much it. Also, as I'm going, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be pressing in and making sure that everything is nice and tight on, that no bubbles are created during this process. Yeah, feels pretty hot. So should be it. Let's let it cool. Give it a good 5-10 minutes, maybe even 15. So while the gun is cooling off, I just want to give you all a quick channel update. So if you're wondering, or if there is a slowdown in my videos, this is the reason why. School has been kicking my butt lately. I mean, look at this. If you guys understand this, comment down below so you can help me out. But I'm trying to keep my videos pumping as best I can. So hopefully you guys continue to see a good flow of videos, but if there's a slowdown, that's why. Okay, so now that my Glock 19 is cooled off, it feels pretty good in the hand. Still safety checked. I'm gonna show you all, this is currently my favorite holster that I have for it. It's by Raven Concealment. And works pretty well. Really good for appendix carry in my opinion. So I did a really good review on it. So if you guys want to check that out, go ahead and go do it. It's probably one of my more popular videos. But I do have a new holster coming in the mail soon for my Glock 19. So definitely stay tuned for that. But like I said, if you're going to carry like this, the problem is this is rubbing against your stomach. And it's pretty rough. It feels like skateboard tape basically. So you don't want that rubbing against your stomach all day, or you're not going to feel too inclined to carry this around. So let's take care of that. So just to let you all know, Talon Grips does actually give instructions on how to do this properly. They do recommend 120 grit sandpaper, which this is not. This is definitely a more coarse material. And that's just basically to make the work a little quicker. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna run a few swipes of this on it. I'm not gonna overdo it. I'm gonna caution on the side of air. And basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna carry it around, and if I like it, or if it's too rough, I'm gonna smooth it down more. If I like it, I'm just gonna keep it as is. So let's give it a shot, see how it works. You can definitely see that scratching it off a little bit. Let's go a little more. It does make a little bit of a mess. So just with a few strokes of this 36 grit sponge right here, it does feel pretty smoothed out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna stop right there and then carry that for a few days, see how I like it. If it's still too rough, I'm just gonna, smooth it down a little more. Definitely want to caution the side of air. You can never put more back on, but you could always take more off. So that's pretty much it. If you guys like this video, please like, share, subscribe. If you have any questions, leave it down below in the comments. Love to hear about them. And so far, I've had really good experience. This is my third Talon Grips that I've added to my firearms, and definitely no regrets. I highly recommend them. Very low cost and very effective. And worst comes to worst, if you want to take them off one time, you could definitely do so. If the day comes that you want to sell your firearm, you could literally just peel it off and it's like it never happened. So, you might have a little bit of, glue or some type of adhesive, but you could definitely clean that off. So that's what's nice about it. Unlike stippling, that's more costly and more permanent, this is an easier solution. It's less expensive, and you could always remove it if you change your mind. So that's what I like about it. Pretty much no regrets on this thing. So that's pretty much it. Like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. WRG out.